Welcome back. As promised, we have the management of Century Plyboards with us. Now, it's been a good quarter for them on the back of a low base. But in general, this whole building product segment has been doing very well. So let's find out how demand is shaping up. We have Keshav Bhajanka, the Executive Director at Century Plyboards, joining us. Mr. Bhajanka, good morning. Can you tell us about what the pent-up demand looks like? And now that metros are, good morning, now that metros are opening up, what kind of demand trends do you see?
I think April was quite a difficult month. The demand was hit towards the second half, and May, of course, was quite poor. Having said that, the first 10 days of June have shown some revival. But going forward, I think we still need to wait and watch. We are hoping that the bounce back will be similar to last year, and Q2 will be fully back to normal. But I think it is a little early, and maybe towards the end of the month, we'll get more of a clue of market sentiment.
Okay, but any kind of impact that all of this has had on your margin performance? Because I reckon there's been, of course, on one hand, raw material price pressure, on the other hand, low operating leverage as well. What do you think the margin impact could be over the next 1 to 2 quarters?
So in terms of raw material pressure, we have passed it on to the market quite successfully. So I don't think that is going to have any meaningful impact. But yes, operating leverage will have its effect. So this quarter will definitely be hit. But going forward, I don't see that as a problem at all. From next quarter, provided volumes are back on track, our margins should be back to our earlier figures.
Keshav, how much of your sales goes to institutional or wholesalers, like, building guys, and how much is retail?
So the thing is that 95% of our sales goes through our distribution network. So even if there are smaller projects or even if there are larger projects, they are routed through our distribution network, through our distributors, dealers, which are located pan-India. That is to also manage the credit risk, because these large projects normally have a far higher credit period than our retail distribution does. So it is a figure that we approximate to be 70% in retail and less than 30% in projects.
No, I'll tell you why. Do you have any deal with IKEA, for instance? I think they must be using MDF and you all do manufacture that one also. Do you all have any wholesale deals with them, or are they competition?
So IKEA is definitely a customer, and we do supply to IKEA. Similarly, we supply to Godrej and other companies as well. So I don't think it'd be fair to treat them as competition. They're definitely a customer, and going forward, very valued customers at that.
Okay. I just wanted to know how your capex is going on. Gabon unit, Punjab and Andhra Pradesh, right?
Yes.
Are all of them, are you in expansion mode there?
Yes, we are in expansion mode all across. Having said that, Gabon is already operational, and that was a unit that was very difficult to commission the past few months, but thankfully we have been able to do so. Our expansion in Hoshiarpur is more or less on track. We might be delayed by a month or two because of the recent COVID wave that has taken place, which has made it difficult for us to mobilize resources in Punjab. But I think it will become operational within Q1 next year, as opposed to Q4 this year. But we are hoping and we are trying our best to make sure that it is operational within Q1 early days. So maybe in April or latest in May. So it is more or less on track. With Andhra, yes, there is a slight delay because, as you know, there are a lot of, the government is putting in a lot of effort to fight COVID. And as such, the movement is slower than what it was, say, 3 months ago, when everything was moving at a frantic and a rapid pace. But again, our target was to establish this unit prior to H2 of next year, of FY23. And I think we are well on track to do so. We will establish it within H2, but again, it's a little early to specify the duration right now.
And what's the money, what is the money you've set aside for CapEx this year? Is that all from internal at all, or you have to borrow?
Yes. A majority of our expansion is going to come from internal. We are looking at a CapEx of close to 700 crores over the course of the next 2 years. And this is going to be funded primarily from internal cash flows. As you know, we generate a lot of cash and we have a strong balance sheet. So I don't think we'll be taking on much debt at any point in the near future.
Okay, just one final question. How much of your business comes from new buildings? How much from retailers? How much from end consumers? Just want to understand where the larger chunk of demand is expected to come through from.
So when you talk about new buildings, more than 70 to 75% of our demand comes from new buildings, but not from the builders. So if you look at the buildings, plywood is not, because in India, the concept is to give unfinished flat, right? So till you go for making the furniture or going ahead with the paneling and so on and so forth, till the time that a homeowner buys the house and makes it into a home, we don't come into play. So I think our demand is primarily from the end customer. And having said that, most of our material goes into new homes as opposed to renovation. So 70 to 75% would be new homes, and perhaps 20-25 would be in renovation.
Okay. Pleasure speaking with you, Keshav. You're right that we perhaps have invited you 2 weeks too early. We will touch base with you again at the end of June or perhaps early July to check out if the resurgence is as good as it was after the first wave. Thank you so much for joining us, and all the very best. Stay safe. We've run you through the past financials for Century Ply as well. You'll have the revenue bar chart running for you. I mean, it's obviously FY21 supply and demand related issues because of the lockdown, and you will find a similar impact. Okay, margins have been strong, and the impact will be seen in the net profit, again impacted by COVID. Oh, wow, I'm sorry. They've done very well for themselves in FY21. Well, before I wrap up on Bazaar, I just want to